What did you guys take away from the game last night? You watched it all together here, right?
Yeah, we watched the first game all together. Second one, most of us went home. It was a crazy game, you know? That's why you kind of hate to see a single elimination game with the way Chicago's played all season, for it to end that way. That hurts. But crazy game. And now, finally, I feel like we get to play. It's been way too long. I just want to get out there and have a game.
This was obviously your first practice being able to focus on Vegas. What did you guys kind of boil that down to?
I mean, they're a team, they like to go inside. They've got great bigs. They're going to really just force it inside. But you can't overhelp off their shooters, obviously, because they got people like Plum and McBride that can shoot the ball really well. But we definitely want to clog the paint. And then we have to finish with a rebound, because you could even see against Chicago, you know, they would have position, but they weren't moving people backwards. And they were able to get some O boards that are pretty key.
The week-long layoff, how do you make that not a factor for folks?
We've been practicing really hard. We've had scrimmages against the guys that have felt very game-like, so we're ready. We're just excited to get our jerseys back on and play a real game.
Having Christy back, maybe off the bench in some capacity, what does that mean even to have her back, even if it's a limited capacity?
It's huge. It just gives us all a lot of confidence. You can kind of take a deep breath when you know you got Christy there. So it's great seeing her back, just having her in the flow of things. It's huge for us.
What did getting as close as you guys have the last few years in the playoffs to winning it all teach you about kind of the margin for error at this stage?
Yeah, there's not much margin for error, and you know, every small little play matters. You know, like last night, even seeing that Chicago game, you think it's that last play that like ended the game. Well, it's not. There's so many small parts to the game where you got to be great, and then you also have to know it's not going to look perfect all the time. It's not always going to be pretty, but you kind of have to grind and grit through some tough plays, some tough calls, whatever it may be, and just stay focused.
Does it matter that you guys have that 10-game home win streak going in, or did the week-long layoff kind of negate that?
I mean, it matters because we're home and we know we're great at home. So obviously we're very confident at home. We expect a huge crowd. It's going to be super loud, so that's always fun to play in, especially when the crowd's on your side.
Lessons learned from the regular season series against Las Vegas that will help you in this series.
Defensively, you got to clog the paint. Even though they have great shooters, they're looking to really pound it inside, and they're looking to try to draw fouls. You can't foul them too much and let them get to the free throw line. It slows down the pace of the game. And then you got to rebound and push.
Elena, you've mentioned Eric helping you in the offseason when you're rehabbing. You watched film with Eric Tebow. What has he meant to you and your teammates as an associate coach this year? What does he do for you guys?
He's great. He's so good with player development and finding small parts of your game that you can improve to get better. For me this offseason, a lot of it was passing and working on strengthening my dribble so I could get to my pass quicker. But each player, he can focus on something, and he helps you by watching film and then gets you out on the court to work on it.
Is he really similar to his dad?
Yeah. I don't know if he'd like to hear that, but yeah.
What's your take on the charters for the WNBA teams?
It's great. It shows that the league's stepping up. They're caring about player health, player safety, so that's a great step forward.
For you personally, I know last year in the playoffs you were injured and fought through it and played well.
Yep.
This time you come into the playoffs feeling much, much better and stuff. What does it mean for you knowing that you're a little bit older, not too much older, but these things mean a lot as you go on in your career and stuff. You know, playoffs don't come around all the time, and a chance to get championship.
I mean, I came on in the last playoffs healthy, so knock on wood. It just shows you have to take every moment for granted. You're not always just going to be back in the playoffs. You're not always going to be in the semis and competing. So enjoy each step of the way, even though I'm sure nerves are high. This is what we play for, and this is fun.
You don't get nervous, do you?
Yeah, I do. If I don't get nervous, I'm worried about myself. If I don't have butterflies before every game, I'm not ready.
What are you chew gum, right? Is that one of your things?
Yeah, I chew gum.
Yeah.
It helps me with like dry mouth a little bit.
What does pressure as a privilege mean to you?
It means that we've gotten to a position where we're number one and everyone's looking to come at us. But that's where we want to be. That's where Seattle was last year. And I can remember the feeling of chasing them. Well, now we feel like we've established ourselves. We've gotten to a great point where we've earned where we are, and now we got to show up.
Coach Tebow was saying how he's kind of knocked on the door. He's been in the WNBA Finals 3 times, been on a lot of deep playoff runs without winning a title. What kind of lessons do you think come from that he's imparted to you guys, that experience?
I feel like every year he just tries to continue to learn and improve and bring something new to our team. So that's what's so special about him is he's always just he's still a student of the game, which is huge, and he loves it, and he's just passionate about it. So to be able to bring him something that he's never earned, since I feel like he's done literally everything else under the sun, would be really cool for this team.